Dana White announced at the UFC 300 press conference some new upcoming fights for 2024. He announced for June 1st, UFC 302 in Newark, New Jersey, Islam Makhachev will be defending his belt for the third time against Dustin Poirier. Right away, this feels like a weird fight for multiple reasons. One, Dustin Poirier isn't the #1 contender, and two, he is only riding a one-fight win streak, which was against Benoit Saint Denis, who is ranked 11th. I would assume they are giving this matchup to Islam Makhachev because he is a fresh matchup and the only one available right now to fight Islam Makhachev. After UFC 300 happened, it is reported that Arman Tsarukyan was asked to fight Islam Makhachev at UFC 302 right after his win with Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan's manager has revealed that the UFC offered them the Islam Makhachev fight for UFC 302 backstage, but they rejected it, which led to Dana White announcing Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Arman Tsarukyan was on Ariel Helwani's show and revealed why he turned down the Islam Makhachev fight, and he said, "I want to be ready and I want to have a full training camp. Why, if I'm the #1 contender, why I got to take the risk?" I get why Arman wouldn't take the fight. He does have a style that could beat Islam, and if you are the #1 contender, why risk a title shot just to be a company man? So with all of this happening, we get Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. This will be Dustin Poirier's third shot at the belt. The first time was against Khabib in the third round where he lost to submission. The second time he lost to Charles Oliveira in the third round by submission. And now the third time he is fighting Islam Makhachev. This seems like an easy fight for Islam, and the main reason behind this is because of the wrestling. It's obvious Dustin Poirier is a stand-up fighter and not a wrestler, and every time he has fought for the title, it's been against a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu artist, and he's been submitted every time. Everyone talks about, oh, Dustin Poirier has a nasty guillotine, you gotta watch out for that, but yet Dustin has never submitted anyone in the UFC with a guillotine. Dustin Poirier has more rear naked choke submissions than anything else. And I'm not trying to hate on Dustin Poirier either. I would love to see him win. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's obvious Islam Makhachev's striking has gotten a lot better, especially his striking accuracy. He's able to confuse his opponents with his leg kicks and is pretty good at hiding the head kick, i.e. the Volkanovski knockout. Islam Makhachev lands 2.46 significant strikes per minute and only absorbs 1.27 significant strikes per minute. Islam is not a high volume striker. He is a pinpoint striker who just puts strikes out there to hide the power shots and the takedown. Islam averages 3.17 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is about one takedown a round, and this is not surprising. Islam's grappling is unmatched and by far the best in the lightweight division. Islam's ability to take his opponent down and quickly submit them is the best thing he does. If you go back and look at the Charles Oliveira fight, the Bobby Green fight, and the Dan Hooker fight, he was so quick to take them down and submit them, and I think this is what he will do against Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier will give up some resistance, but inevitably, I think he will make a mistake. Most likely give up his back when he is fighting Islam against the cage, and I think that's where Islam Makhachev will find the rear naked choke. Dustin Poirier has a 63% takedown defense, which is not that great at all, and you got to remember, he got himself taken down a lot against Benoit Saint Denis when he kept trying to go for the guillotine. Dustin Poirier lands 5.45 significant strikes per minute and absorbs 4.36 significant strikes per minute. Although Dustin lands a lot of strikes and he's a high volume fighter, I don't think this will matter when fighting Islam Makhachev. Islam will want Dustin to keep his hands up and throw a lot so he can look for the takedown. The only way I see Islam Makhachev losing this fight is if he somehow trades with Dustin Poirier. I doubt he will, but if somehow Islam Makhachev is willing to scrap with Dustin, he can easily get knocked out. I just don't think Islam is dumb enough to let that happen. I predict Islam Makhachev to submit Dustin Poirier in the third round by rear naked choke. I think Islam will strike with Dustin and force his back against the cage, look for the takedown against the fence, and then slowly take his back and then get the submission. For some reason, Dustin loves giving up his back, and I think this is where he'll lose, and I think when he does this, Islam will submit him. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.